Tips to prevent overeating while working from residence. No doubt, working from a house needs a great deal of self-control. This goes with both performance and more health-related things like consuming as well as snacking. Given that we're in the convenience of our own house without any of our colleagues around, we might be more lured to treat while we function. Snacking isn't poor in itself, it depends on what the treat is. Typically, these snacks are simply comprised of vacant calories. Is there a way to avoid overindulging while working from residence? Counting on determination alone is a guaranteed dish for failing and smashed self-esteem. Rather, identify the triggers that trigger you to treat when you do not really feel hungry and treat yourself with loving kindness as you reform your snacking routines. Set up meal times. One of the biggest difficulties regarding functioning from house is that individuals usually neglect to relax from their job due to the fact that they cannot conveniently divide their home life from their work life. It is essential to set up breaks throughout the day, including mealtimes. To help prevent snacking and focus a lot more on consuming versatile meals, timetables in a lunchtime break. This consists of time to prepare as well as take pleasure in the dish. Rather than eating on the go, take the time to take a seat and also take pleasure in the meal. When you reduce and eat mindfully, you turn into your body's inherent cravings and satiation signals. You likewise provide yourself time to ask yourself questions, such as "Am I hungry right now?" You'll take more complete satisfaction in the dishes that you do take in, and also you'll appreciate even more time with your partner and kids. Assign no treat areas. People that function from residence have a tendency to find it difficult to separate their job room from their space, particularly if they don't have a workplace. This implies you're probably consuming where you work. To drop some light on how frequently this takes place, over the following few days, document not what you eat but where you consume it. While we might believe we're conserving time by doing so, we're also developing a mental organization in between resting at our workstation as well as snacking. Once you identify the locations where you often tend to forage, note them off limits from snacking. In the beginning, you may feel a little bit shed and usually find yourself grabbing for something out of routine, yet by taking away the ease of having food right by your side and having to walk to the kitchen to get it, you'll be less likely to consume as much. Acquire smaller dimensions. What occurs when issues about food waste ram family-sized portions? You polish off the rest of open containers prior to they can stagnate. The issue with this technique is that you often do not really feel hungry for the calories you consume. You do mental acrobatics to validate your overeating by stating, "There are starving people in this globe." Yes, unfortunately, these people do exist, however consuming that box of cacao bears will not feed them any. When you go to the marketplace, go with smaller sizes of your favorite deals with. You can also try buying treats that generally come in smaller dimensions. For instance, try having one frozen banana or a single-sized yogurt parfait for dessert as opposed to loading several scoops of banana collapse ice cream into a bowl. In this way, you do not really feel deprived, but you do limit your usage to a sensible part. Usage measured containers. You might balk at the idea of using a food scale, and also if your overeating comes from deprival, counting every calorie can backfire. However, you can purchase a set of determined portion containers that keep your treats to a sensible dimension. The method is just to enable yourself one offering. Refilling a little dish a loads times won't minimize your usage much. Switch off the computer and TV. Remember the last time you saw a flick. Prior to you got to the second hour, you were halfway with that jumbo section of snacks. When you are sidetracked, you tend to consume more than you would if you paid attention to your body's hints. Make the family dinner table a device-free area, including shutting off the television. If you must have history sound, dock your Apple iPhone as well as put on some relaxing tunes. Maintain hydrated. Dehydration can creep up on you, much more so for those who stay in a dry climate or during those warm summertime. Hydration is not just essential for overall health, it can help battle those advices to snack. Frequently we err hunger for thirst. Staying well moisturized can assist prevent any unnecessary snacking. Sadly, consuming alcohol more coffee won't suffice. While science has unmasked the myth that high levels of caffeine dehydrate you, way too much can give you headaches and jitters. If you locate it tough to consume alcohol water, try jazzing it up by including fresh fruit. Concentrate on your nutritional needs. If you become stressed with counting every calorie, you will drive yourself crazy as well as end up feeling robbed. Instead, focus on the conference, but not going beyond your body's natural requirements. Virtually 10% of Americans have a dietary shortage, and also these can spur food cravings that drive overeating. They can likewise make you feel miserable. You do not need to do difficult math with food tags to fulfill your requirements. A wise guideline to comply with is to load half of your plate with vegetables and fruits at every meal. Dedicate 1/4 to entire grains like quinoa, as well as the rest to healthy protein and healthy fats. This system benefits vegan and also vegan diets, as well. Article encouraging notes. Some preferred diet plan plans encourage uploading sticky notes on your cupboard and refrigerator to advise you not to overindulge. However, what you compose issues as much as the medium itself. Messages like absolutely nothing, preferences just as good as slim feels, makes your mind rebel, yeah, right. Program me the cheesecake. Instead, if you select the notes to self-route, treat on your own the way you would your friends. Posting points like you're making amazing progress carefully advise you not to diminish track by indulging that ice cream craving. Award your initiatives. Yes, getting healthier by stopping mindless snacking on junk food need to act as a reward in itself. Unfortunately, the human mind does not work this way. Building a high-rise building entails significant imagination and also engineering ability. However, a couple of employees would certainly show up to set up the beams without a monetary reward. Strategy little deals with day-to-day triumphs. If you claim you cannot be rewarded until you shed 20 pounds, you might get discouraged prior to reaching your goal. Unwind in a bubble bathroom after a day of clean eating. Acquire yourself a little gift, like a new set of running socks, when you make it a week without consuming a family-sized bag of corn chips. Why do individuals eat way too much? The complex partnership between food and also people would certainly put most reality show dramatization to shame. The biological function seems basic enough: you consume when you get starving and also stop when you really feel full. In truth, numerous factors can trigger you to overeat, many of which you can manage. Severe dieting. If you wish to lose extra pounds promptly, you may assume a severe diet represents the path of least resistance. Nonetheless, you may undermine your initiatives by going to extremes. Emotionally, your mind rebels versus arbitrary constraints like, "Thou shalt not eat carbs." It's one reason that recouping addicts concentrate on someday each time. Residing in a world devoid of sweet treats suffices to depress any person. Instead, think about making much healthier choices, one dish each time. Physically, your body interprets severe caloric constraints as a famine scenario, and it generates hormonal agents to drive you to take in much more. These prompts can show as testing to neglect as it is to avoid licking chapped lips. Genes. Scientists have actually located numerous genetics that influences eating habits. However, these alone do not spur you to binge. Your setting plays a role. If you grew up in family members where overruling plates were the standard, you tend to accept heftier part dimensions. Similarly, distressing life events can trigger an impulse to eat way too much that can start as a short-term relief and progress into a deep-rooted practice. Stress. When you experience persistent stress and anxiety, your body maintains cortisol manufacturing high. Simply put, ruptures. This hormone reduces your appetite as it prepares your body for fight or flight. Nevertheless, over the long term, your body analyzes the raised levels as an extended strike. You will certainly feel compelled to eat even more to prepare yourself for the following attack. Boredom. On the other hand, if you find yourself lifeless without the exchange of your coworkers to amuse you in your home workplace, you may treat it to reduce dullness. The feeling can also occur when you work too long without stopping, a behavior that usually creates when your commute only lasts a few seconds. Set up breaks throughout your day and utilize them to stroll somewhere apart from the cooking area, like around the block. Thirst individuals have a tendency to drink with a dish, which can muddy the waters between thirst as well as hunger. You might think you feel famished while, in reality, you are just parched. To break this cycle, maintain on your own well hydrated and find out to focus on the means hunger expresses itself differently. Compulsions. Some scientists think that persistent overindulging represents a form of the obsessive-compulsive condition OCD. Completely 64% of people with consuming conditions also have anxiety, as well as 41% have OCD particularly. Both conditions share the characteristic of useless thought patterns impacting behavior in such a way that makes clients really feel ashamed. If you fear that an underlying psychological concern stimulates your demand to snack, connect to a specialist for help. Finding help for out-of-control eating. If your consuming habits continue to spiral unmanageable, you may require expert help. There is no pity in requesting help. Staying silent just causes experiencing in silence, not significant steps toward recuperation. Treatment. If you have protection, talk to your insurance firm about locating a credible therapist in your network. Occasionally, you might need to take a trip to your medical care physician for a referral. Overeaters Anonymous. This support group is a complimentary resource for everybody, not only those who do not have the means. You can discover strength in numbers and also camaraderie. Plus, it has online meetings, which means you do not require to leave the convenience of your sofa to participate in. It's easy to understand to cave in to need to treat mindlessly when you telecommute. However, by identifying your triggers, carrying out eating strategies, and employing help, you can get your routines back on course. Thanks for watching this video.